Hey everybody, welcome to Tarot Tuesday. Alright, last week we had the Four of Pentacles, and that one's pretty fun, pretty solid. It comes up quite a bit, so I'm glad we got to go over that one. So, let's see what's this week. Oh, Seven of Wands, totally fun. Alright, there it is, Seven of Wands. And one of the things you may figure this means is defending yourself, and you would be very correct. In addition to that, we would add things like staking your claim or, standing up for your beliefs. And also, similar to that, challenging something, okay? It's interesting to note the position of the person involved here. They're on the hill here, and they have the high ground. So this could be taken quite literally, like, oh, you have the upper hand. Or in the situation here where we talk about challenging something or standing up for your beliefs, it could be the moral high ground here. You stick to your beliefs and you don't waver. And, this is going to be what you need to do to fend off these attacks. You see most of the wands at the bottom, so they're held vertically. So I just assume it's people like, holding them like this, and the person on the card has it like a nice solid block, so there is a lot more in their favor to defend themselves with. The sevens deal with assessment and knowledge, and if you think of the other sevens, in particular the Seven of Cups, that's about making a decision. So you need to assess, you need to have the knowledge, and make that choice correctly. It's about sticking with your knowledge and assessing all the attacks, I would say. Those other six wands, are they worth fighting? Are they worth, standing your ground against, or you just let them waver around? Some will be just shaking. And that's an interesting thing that, if there are six people coming at you, some of them are just joiner-inners, as it were, and they're just going to be waving these things and not really attacking you. Do you waste your time and your effort and possibly your safety by attacking them? So this is about, assessing where to direct your defenses. Another interesting way to look at this is through the challenge aspect. And if you figure 7 people charged this hill, or overtook this hill, and they have their wands, this is the person getting there in victory, and that these people are in support. Okay? And that, depending on how this goes in the spread, this could really mean that someone's in a great position. It's not that they're fighting other people, it's that they have the support, and that their challenges are going to be backed. In the reverse, it's not so good. It's about someone who's fighting a losing battle, someone who's being overwhelmed, on the verge of giving up. And so while that is not good to see, it is the perfect spot to give them the healing message. And this is where they can refocus their energy. So let's look back at what I had said in the upright, where, say, one of those 6 wands is just waving, or a couple of them are just waving, but they're still fighting them, okay? This is a similar approach, but you would say, look at the things that are getting you down, the things that are overwhelming you, the things that you're fighting. Which ones do you need to be fighting? Which ones can you leave behind? Which ones can you move past? Which ones can you just leave to the universe and say, all right, this isn't mine to deal with anymore, okay? I'm moving on from that, and I'm going to focus on these 4 that I have to, and then, go one by one. Work with the client here to get them to refocus, to see where things need to be. Tell them, get them to start a plan if that's the case. If you're being overwhelmed, there's got to be more than one, right? So you would just look at it and say, all right, which one do you focus on first? Let's get a plan of attack here, and let's get to the top of the hill, because in the reverse, the 6 wands are at the top, and, as I like to say, that's the future. That's where they're headed. So how do you get it so that you're at the top? They're blocking the way out. So you have to, turn it around. You want to be at the top of the hill, the top of the heap, junkyard dog. And the only way for them to do that is to focus on what they can change and go bit by bit by bit by bit and overtake each one of these wands. And I'm willing to bet some of them, they're just tilting at windmills, It's like Don Quixote. They're not fights that they need to be in. So bringing this awareness to them is going to be big and a huge part of them getting through this and healing. Okay, Seven of Wands, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, there's not a lot going on graphically. It's really all out in the open here. There's a lot of open space. The protagonist is right in the center, so there's really the center of the action here. And I feel it like Wands, it all takes place up here, and that's where it starts and that's where it ends. When this one comes into the spread, use all positive aspects you can find. and deliver the healing message. This is a great card for that. In the upright for sure, but in the reverse, even though it's a bummer, you can find the silver lining, you can find the message, and you can get them on the road to recovery. If you're interested in learning more about healing messages or graphics and how we interpret cards intuitively, I teach Intuitive Tarot at the Ivy League Psychic Academy. Next class starts April 22nd, but it's always available for video download. So if you're interested in learning from me, head to ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com. And until then, I will see you next week.